JasonWhiskyWise, myself Jason, today bringing you whiskey review into the Talisker 25-year-old. So if you're new to my channel, you haven't probably seen any of my videos, I'm currently reviewing the full Talisker range. So I've done everything from the 10 all the way to the 57 North, and now we've got the 25 and the 30. Now if you missed any of the videos, I'll leave them linked in the top corner. Go and check them out, as you'll have pretty much every single Talisker come tomorrow. So we're going to be doing the Talisker 25. Now this is one I picked up as a sample from a tasting I had with a lovely gentleman named Colin Dunn. Now I'm leaving a picture of him over there. He works at Diageo, and he was kind enough to give me a sample after the tasting of one of the products we actually tried first in the tasting, which is a Talisker 25, which is insane. So I highly suggest, if you do ever get a chance to hear of a tasting with a gentleman named Colin Dunn, go for it. So I poured myself a bit of the 25 just to sit and open up whilst I do multiple takes of intros. And to begin with on this whiskey, it is a Talisker 25. Your age on this one is 25 years old. The ABV is 45.8%. The cask selection I read up on this one has a combination now. It's got that American oak hogshead, and you've also got European oak, which is a refill European oak. Now the actual distillery itself is the Talisker Distillery, which you'll see over there. Beautiful place, and definitely I'm planning to go visit. Parent company that own them are Diageo, and they are located in the Isle of Skye in Scotland, so the islands of Scotland. Now the overall price point on that bottle over there currently sits at around about £250 here in the United Kingdom, and it's actually the release price. So in terms of also exclusivity, now this is where it gets interesting. Talisker 25 was initially released as one of Diageo's special releases, which is an annual release of special products from the Diageo archives. This one, in 2017, which is last year's bottling, became one that was not part of the special releases. However, it featured a much more bigger release, and this has 21,498 bottles released globally for that batch, which is huge. But previous years was much smaller quantities of it. Now, in terms of caramel colouring, I've read on places that say yes and places that say no, so we're going to leave the colour out. So let's begin by assessing the nose, because I'm really looking forward to this one. This was distilled in 1992, so it's got a lot of significance if you've seen my logo. So let's get into the review. So to begin on the nose for Talisker 25, straight away you get that citrus character, but it's so much more mellow than the other expressions of Talisker. Lime juice, tangerines, a little bit of even castor sugar in the mix, which is sweetening things out a little bit more. Salt and pepper cheese swirls, which I recently bought from one of the local supermarkets, which really is awesome. There is a slight sort of oaky character, almost like cedarwood, adding that little bit. You can tell that it's been aged for a while. There is a nice sort of appley character, almost like a salted apple. Maybe apple crumble. Conference pears, quite nice and sweet. And I'm getting that green olives back on this one, but it's much more toned down. And a little bit of even salted almonds, a nice like nutty character. So I'm looking forward to this one. Into the palate. Slanger. Wow, what a flavour. Roller coaster of different flavours all over the flavour spectrum. You start out with that nice sort of maritime salty character. Almost like salty, sort of salted caramel. It then works into itself almost like if you've had salted butter on a fresh piece of toast. Then you get a bit more fruitier and spicier. I'm talking about pears, summer fruit, a bit of green apple that has been sort of almost like you've sort of stewed these green apples. You've dusted them over with a bit of a coating of cinnamon powder. You've got a little bit of white pepper crackled into it to add that little bit of spice. And then you go into a bit more of the citrusy characters. I'm talking about limes and lemons that have been freshly squeezed, and someone's just dropped a little bit of pith inside, which adds a slight bitter character on the profile. And then you get a bit more of a warmth as it goes down, the chili spice, like almost like a sparkle of red chili. Warmth in the sort of palate and all over the chest. Really full of flavour. Wow. There is a slight drying oak presence as well, just on the mid and back palate, but as that fades, you just want to take another sip, which I'm going to do now, and we'll work our way into the finish. So, into the finish. Now, into the finish for the Talisker 25, you're picking out more of those sort of oaky presence characters. It's combined with that maritime saltiness, that sort of whiff of sea spray. And it's also got that bit of spice, that sort of chili spice. It really picks itself up a bit on the sides of the palate. However, I'm picking out a dryness that reminds me of something I had actually when I was in India, which is clay. It's like, not clay as itself, but water that's been stored in a clay pot, which we do in India initially to cool the water down. And that unusual character, that slight bit of the inside of the clay pot has imparted itself into the water, drying that flavor. And that little bit of oaky presence come back, and as that spice rolls itself off, a little bit of citrus coming back to play. But wow, that's got a very nice full texture overall. Finish-wise, I wouldn't say it's long, as much as I'd love to, but it's along the lines of medium full, I'd say. Actually, no, I'm gonna go with medium. It's not as long as I'd want it to be for what the palate and the nose offered up. So, time to give my conclusion. I'm actually gonna finish this, then I'm gonna give my sort of conclusion. So, let me finish this one and we'll get into it. So now for my conclusion, I'm actually gonna give the rating first and then I'll talk about it. So, in terms of my overall rating for the Talisker 25, I'm giving it a 93 out of 100. That's because the flavors in this one are really well balanced. They're rounded. You get the house style of Talisker, but those edges on this one have been just completely sanded off. And that slight oaky presence you get is really embodying the age it's spent in the cask. Some whiskies with age don't get better. This one, I feel they found just the perfect right balance. And I'm actually going to be interested to try some other Talisker 25s to see if that has the same principle. However, in terms of value for money at $250, I normally price all 25-year-old whiskies at $250 and 30-year-olds at $300 tops. So it's in a very good price bracket in my opinion. However, if you do find it under £200 equivalent, I'd just say snap one of those instantly, because if you love your Talisker, it's going to be something I'd say just go to it and get it. But overall, the flavors are there. It's got a house style of Talisker. Price point, I think it's good. And overall, the flavors are just something that I really personally enjoyed. So Talisker, you've done a great job on the 2017. I'm actually going to be looking forward to 2018 to see what that's going to taste like. But we'll leave that till another video. So on that note, if you have enjoyed the video, by all means, feel free to drop it a thumbs up and a like. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And also be sure to follow us and check out some of the other videos I'll leave up on screen. But this has been JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Slàinte.